Any health-related information on the following show provides general information only. Content presented on any show by any host or guest should not be substituted for a doctor's advice. Always consult your physician before beginning any new diet, exercise, or treatment program.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Inspired and Empowered Living TV show and podcast. We are live Tuesday mornings at 11 a.m. Eastern on talk4tv.com, talk4 and w4wn.com, and my YouTube channel. And today we will be continuing to talk about listening to your heart's truth, part 2. And continuing where we left off last week, listening is an essential skill in all areas of your life, especially when it comes to hearing yourself. When you listen to your heart, you are hearing your soul. Discover what your heart is calling you to do and how you can move towards those desires to create an inspired and empowered life. Together, let's create a life you love. And we have Allie in the house. Good morning, Allie. And I'm your host, Nanci Deutsch, licensed clinical social worker, certified hypnotherapist, and intuitive breakthrough expert. And this show is not a replacement for therapy or counseling. It is for educational purposes only. So we were talking about last week what your heart's truth. And as I really want to invite all of you to ask your questions, comments. I love to hear what you have to say. And if anything's occurred for you over the course of the week, let me know. I would really love to hear. So just to review, defining your heart's truth. What does that really mean? First of all, truth is all about being able to connect with that authentic place within you, the real place within you. And when you are connecting with your heart's truth, you're connecting, like I said before, with your soul. And your soul guides you through your heart. So those feelings of where you feel inspired or empowered, those are the feelings of your soul coming through your heart. When you're feeling love or peace or joy or gratitude, those are all your soul shining through your heart center. And I want to address some questions. And from last week, I want to get to them. So hopefully the people who asked the questions are live in the house. If not, then hopefully they'll hear it later. So one of the things that I want you to realize is somebody asked last week, do our truths change as we go through life? So your truth there's different levels. And what I mean by that is You may have certain desires or certain aspirations or certain guidings or leanings at one point in your life, and then it may start shifting. So your truth at in your 20s or 30s may be different than your truth in your 50s and 60s or 70s or up. And that's okay. It's part of life, it's part of wisdom, it's part of growing. And then there are some truths that are steady throughout your life. That truth does not change. Like, for example, the truth of who you are at the core essence of your being. So you came into this lifetime with certain characteristics. Like some of you may be more artistic. Maybe you love music, or maybe you're more of an artist or a writer. Some of you may love cooking. And some of you may, I'll get to your question shortly, and some of you may have truths about you love teaching. You're a teacher and you love to share your wisdom and your knowledge. And perhaps you're a leader and you've always been a leader. And that truth about who you are is through your lifetime. It does not change. However, how you express that truth may change. Because as you get older, you may find out about new skills, new abilities, new talents that have always been there, but you weren't able to access them before their time or before you were ready to access them. So, no, there are some steady truths that don't change through your lifetime and others that do. So, that's something for you to explore and understand. And I'm going to get to Misty's question in a second. I just want to answer some other questions that came in at the end of last week. And I want to make sure, because I'm going to be talking about my masterclass that's going to be 12 o'clock, right after 12 o'clock Eastern. It's going to be right after this show. So somebody asked, anyone, if you register with the link, you can come. You don't have to have a camera. You can actually call in. It's on Zoom. So I invite you to join us. So I just want to let you know that, and I'm going to talk more about it very shortly. So Misty asked, do these truths equal values? Yes and no. Wait, don't, one question at a time. So first, let's do these truths equal values. Okay. The truths, what happens is sometimes, very often, your truths will equal your values. And yes, that is correct. And again, certain values are who you are and how you want to express yourself throughout your life, like being honest or integrity or commitment, responsibility. All of those things are values. And if you learn to value them in your family, then they may be values that you hold true, sacred to you throughout your lifetime. Sometimes your values may change. Like, for example, like if you learned something, suppose you grew up in a family that tends to lie. And when you were a kid, it felt off. You didn't want to, you didn't understand it, but you didn't know. And it can be very confusing for a child. It's something what's called mixed messages. So the child gets, let's say a parent says, you don't lie, but the behavior is they tell little white lies, or they're not telling the child the whole truth. And so that's called a mixed message, and it gets really confusing for a child. And so you don't know what is really the truth. But what happens is as you get older and truth becomes more and more important to you, and listening to your heart's truth becomes more important, honesty and integrity, your values start maturing and changing. And those are values that you want for your lifetime. So yes, values are definitely truths that will definitely be connected. And also those can change over time. And as you get older and wiser, hopefully your values get more and your truths become more connected. What I will say is more connected with your soul. And I will say soul qualities and soul truths are those higher aspirations, higher truths like honesty, integrity, joy or commitment, courage. And sometimes there's an action you need to take and you're really scared to take it. Your heart is saying you need to move in this direction, and your whole body is saying, I'm too scared. I don't know how to do this. And yet what needs to happen is you may need to do something that we're going to talk about very shortly, which is the next step. But you're doing what you need to do to keep moving forward. And then you have the courage to take that step and the next one and the next one and the next one. So there's a question from Country Corners Gazette. Are truths things we learn as we go, or do they follow us through the years? So I kind of just answered that, but I'll review that answer. So those truths are truths that we are learning and growing and maturing and become wiser. And so they can change. And they're things that we learn. And once we learn those certain values, you end up wanting to have them through your lifetime. Like, for example, one of your values may be to have clear communication, and that you want to be able to have clear communication so that when you're communicating with those that you love, when you're communicating with other people, then your communications are clear. And speaking of that, right before the show, I just got ahead on what I'm going to be doing and talking about next week, which is clearing relationship stress right before the holidays. Because in America, we have Thanksgiving coming up. So we'll be talking about relationships and communications more fully next week. So stay tuned. I'll share that again later on in the show. So last week, the first steps that we talked about was the step one was to learn how to quiet your mind. Step two was getting into that being conscious and aware. Step three is all about clearing. And it's learning to clear your energy, clearing your energy on a daily basis and doing the deeper level of clearing. Because if you're not quiet, okay, somebody said that is needed because some family gatherings are stressful for people. That was from Country Corners Gazette. Yep. So we'll be talking about that more next week. So, but what I was saying about clearing is really crucial and important step when you're listening to your heart's truth. Because if you're emotional, if you're stressed, if you are feeling anxious or depressed, or you're feeling angry, irritable, if you're feeling guilt or shame, any of those feelings are going to block, and you will not be able to hear your heart's truth. Even grief, you cannot necessarily hear your heart's truth until you heal yourself. And part of the healing is the clearing. So, how do you clear? What do you do to clear? So, I'm going to give you some tools to help you clear your energy and help you to work on being able to hear your heart's truth. So, there are daily clearings. You may want to start your day. I always like to say, start your day in a spiritual way. So that means meditation or prayer. Some of you may want to do yoga and then move into meditation or prayer or chanting. Some people chant certain sounds, phrases, words like Om. And chanting is a way to get into space to clear your energy. And then there's journaling and being able to do the journaling. And I've talked to you about for those who have been listening, I talk about Julia Cameron's The Artist's Way, and she talks about the morning pages. So for those of you who don't know, it's a way to kind of just let out whatever's going on in your mind. 3 pages, you just write and write and write whatever's coming up, no censoring. You're just doing what they call a brain dump. Just write and write and write, and that can help clear you. So that's another tool. Using your breath is another tool for clearing. And I know Mickey said, what forms of meditation are there, and what can meditation do for you? Well, meditation. There are many forms of meditation. There are some people that do mantras, and they say that mantra, whether it's a phrase or a word, and they say it again and again. Some people stare into a candle, or they stare at a certain point in the room. Some people close their eyes and use breath and breath work to go deeper. And many people use guided meditations. Now, for me, I use guided meditation. I personally like guided meditation, and I am going to share with you that I created a guided meditation to help you. So I'm going to share it. Rebel already is posting the link on the ticker tape. inspiredandempoweredliving.com/meditation. And you can download this meditation, and it can help you with clearing and really help you to learn how to clear so that you can hear your heart's truth. It's inspired and empowered living.com meditation/meditation. So inspired and empowered living.com/meditation. And Rebel, could you put the link? Okay. So Misty asked for could you do a few shows with the types of meditation and how they work with examples? Sure, I would be happy to do that. Definitely, I will um definitely do that. I'm going to do, like I said, I'll do the stress thing, and for the holidays, do a few shows on that, and then maybe we'll do a show on meditation before the end of the year, and to get you started. Definitely, meditation is a really powerful way to help you to clear your energy and also to listen to your heart's truth. It's really powerful. And meditation, and again, another way that you can help clear your energy is actually sound healing. And I talked a little bit before about uh, chanting, sound healing using crystal bowls or Tibetan bowls. And if you go on YouTube, you can YouTube crystal bowls or Tibetan bowls, because they're different. And what happens is, or even sound healing, and you can listen, and it can also help you get into a meditative state and help you. So you know that you're clearing your energy when, so that you can hear your heart's truth when let's say you're feeling stressed and you really want to get an answer for something or hear what you're being guided. So what happens is, if you do the meditation, the sound healing, writing, prayer, yoga, going out in nature is another wonderful thing. Breathing and breath work, all of those are tools to clear your energy on a daily basis. So, excuse me, my voice, and I've got a lot of talking to do today. So, gotta make sure my voice is definitely, gotta drink my water. And another way that I share with clients is, if you want to do exercise, you have the intention, I'm clearing my energy, I'm clearing my fear or anger, and you're doing your morning exercise routine or running or walking, and intend to release that energy, and that can be another way of clearing for the day. So we have a question that came in from Country Corners Gazette. What can we do to better hear our guides? And how do we know if we are connected to the guide? Okay, first of all, let me define guides for those of you who may not know what a guide is. When we're talking about a guide, we're talking about a spirit guide. And we have many spirit guides on the other side that are here to help us through our lives. And what you need to do in order to hear your guide is to do these steps of listening to your heart's truth. Because you will not be able, when you're listening to your heart's truth, you're listening to your intuition. And listening to your intuition is really important. Your guides are coming through. You're getting intuitive hits. The universe, your higher power, is getting through, going to all the time. And your intuition is how you can help yourself connect with what your guides are wanting to tell you or wanting to share. And so the first step is quieting your mind. Now, if you're not able to quiet your mind, then and have conscious awareness, then you need to skip to the third step, which is clearing. and learning how to clear your energy, just like what I was talking about, what I just said, using meditation or journaling or exercise or any of the above, breathing and breath work, all of that will help you to get into a state where you can hear, feel, see, know, and sense your guides. Now, how do you know it's a guide? What I'm going to say is this: guides are here to support you. They're unconditionally loving, and they're here to help and guide you. So, however they're coming through to support you. They're coming through to help encourage you, empower you, love you. Then you know it's a guide. If you're hearing a thought saying, "Oh, you stupid idiot, blah, blah, blah," it's not a guide, it's your ego. No guide would ever say that. That's not how a guide works. So if they're encouraging you and loving you and supporting you and guiding you, then they're a guide. So that's what I would share with you about that. And what I also want to share with you, because I wasn't planning on sharing the meditation link, but the question came in. So I was like, okay, let me share the link. What I did want to share with you is after we're going to get to step 4 shortly, but I want to talk about what's happening right after the show. And I'm doing a masterclass, 3 steps to confidence, the key to abundant income and impact. And you can register for free. It's a free virtual masterclass. And you can join us and find out how to break free from limiting beliefs to help you conquer the blocks that have been holding you back from creating more wealth and overcoming the self-doubt and financial constraints. Learning to trust your instincts and decisions, gaining the tools to build unwavering self-trust, allowing you to make confident decisions and to move forward without hesitation. And learn how to embrace your worth and deservability. Discover how to shatter the feeling of not being good enough, unworthy, or deserving, and freeing yourself from imposter syndrome so that you can unlock your true potential. And that is, you go to inspiredandempoweredliving.com/masterclass, one word. inspiredandempoweredliving.com/masterclass. And so can you, Rebel, can you put the link again in the chat? Thank you. So that is the masterclass, and I look forward to connecting with you on the masterclass. So the 3rd step, okay, wait, before I get to the 4th step, which, do our guides care about us, or is there no emotional connection, just guidance? Okay. So what I'm going to share with you is your guides love you. There is definitely a connection. Now, some guides are going to be more emotionally connected than others. I will tell you that when you have guides, there are contracts that you've made with these guides. So some, just like you and me and all of us on the planet, have different levels of emotions. Some of us are more emotional, some of us are less emotional. So are the guides, depending on the being that's guiding you. So you may have some guides that are very loving you so much. They're like these unconditional balls of love. And a lot of times guides like that, they could be angels, they could be loved ones that have passed on. They can be guides that have traveled with you in many lifetimes. So know that your guides, first of all, a guide from that place is unconditionally loving. Some of them may be more detached than others, but it doesn't mean they don't care about you. Every guide you have loves you or cares about you, is committed to helping you and supporting you in moving forward on this earth plane. And so guides are really important to be able to tap in and help you follow your heart's truth. And can guides see us at any time, or do they respect our privacy? So this is what you can do. You can ask. You can ask for your privacy. Say, you know what? Can you please give me privacy? Because you have a right to set your boundaries in any way, shape, or form. So you can specifically say, please respect my privacy. And also know that your guides, they don't have the judgments like you and I. They're not judging how we look or what we're doing. They're in that more unconditional place and non-judgmental. So you can ask your guides to respect your privacy or only come when they're asked, and it's up to you. You also have the power of free choice, free will. And free will is you having the power of asking for support, for help when you want it. And your guides will respect your wishes. We have another question. But doesn't what we are doing play into the need to guide us through? So, yes, what we are doing, like if you feel connected to a certain guide, then you can ask for their guidance to guide you, and they will guide you through. Like if you're in the middle of something, a task, a project, or working on understanding what your next step and your mission or your purpose is, you can ask your guide to guide you and to help you and support you in what the next step is. So, no, asking is really important. Really important. So, let me get to the fourth step. The fourth step is all about making that deeper connection. And when you connect with when you're connecting with that deeper part of yourself, you're connecting with what I call your higher self, or your soul, or your guides or angels, loved ones, the universe, the energy of the higher light and love. You want to learn how to make that deeper connection. And as you make that deeper connection, you start being able to, and again, remember, you're in a calm, clear state so that you can hear or feel or sense or know what the guidance is. Now, I also want to bring up, if you're attached to an outcome, your ego, that attachment can get in the way of you getting your heart's truth. So learning to sit back and kind of not be attached to the answers or to what's coming or to a certain outcome is really important for you to learn how to be able to receive your heart's truth. And that's why the clearing might need to happen, so that you are then clear enough to be able to then connect and you hear and you listen and you feel. And really, it's asking the questions, asking for help or support, and then listening to your heart. So that ends up being the fifth step. Asking, I'm putting those together, asking the questions, asking for, make it clear to me, heart, make it clear to me, soul, make it clear to me, higher self, make it clear to me, guides. What is my next step? What do I need to know in this moment about ... whatever it is you're working on? What do I need to know about my life purpose, my mission? So you have the ability to be able to ask for all of that. And then it's being able to let the answers come, to be able to hear, to feel, to sense, to know. Okay, so I know we had a couple of questions come in. Country Corners Gazette. Would the guides think we are trying to hide things from them if they are trying to have privacy? If we are trying, no, they don't think like that. They're not thinking that we're unless you are trying to hide something. There's this energy when you have a right to your boundaries. You have a right to your boundaries and setting boundaries with people on this planet. And you have a right, you have a right to be able to set your boundaries with your guides. And so if you're setting a boundary because you want privacy, and your guides will respect that. Now, if you're, look, the guides know whether we're trying to hide something or not. So if your intention is not clear and there is some part of you that wants to hide something, they're going to see it. They know. Even when you are asking them, it's not like they don't know. But it's about respecting your privacy, your boundaries. It's okay to set those boundaries. Okay, Misty, what's the question? What do you mean by attached to an outcome? Isn't that hoping for what you want? Okay, so, okay, I'll give you an example. Let's say you're working on manifesting a new position or job or something where you're wanting a lot of love, like joy, or it could be a relationship. Let's go to relationship. Okay. So let's say you want to manifest manifest your life partner. And there's a certain person in your mind and you're thinking, it's got to be that person. Got to be that person. And you're really attached to it being that person. And if you're doing, let's say the job example. So let's say you find there's a job and it's like, oh, that's the perfect job for me. I want that. I want that. And you're so attached to that outcome, whether it's the relationship or that certain person or that specific job, that you're like holding on to it. It's you could be keeping it away from you. And so learning to be able to surrender to your higher wisdom, your guidance, your highest and greatest good and the highest and best outcome. So when you're working on creating something, what you want to say is, and it has to be like, to have the attitude of, I would like this person and I'm willing to let this go. I'm willing to say either I want the relationship, my life partner, for my highest and greatest good. And I surrender to you, soul, universe, higher power, whatever you choose. I surrender to what the highest good is. And so you're not so attached to that outcome. In fact, the more you surrender, the better it will be. It's like letting go. When you let go and you're able to really surrender and put it into God, universe, higher power's hands, you are able to really allow that manifestation. You could say, or better. You want this or better. Or for my highest and greatest good. However you want to say it. But you want to add like your manifestation and really surrender it to the universe. And then, like if it's the job, you want to say, I want this job or position or career for my highest and greatest good. May this happen or better. And allow yourself to surrender to what is going to be for your highest and greatest good, because that relationship or that job, there may be something even better for you. But if you're so attached to a certain outcome, then the universe doesn't have the freedom to be able to bring you what's going to be in your greatest good. So hopefully that was clear. And so really, to just review what we've been talking about, to listen to your heart's truth, you want to be able to quiet your mind. You want to be step 1, step 2. Okay, so Misty, I see your question came in, or any other questions that come in. What I'm going to do is we'll talk about them more next week before we go into next week's show. So I will answer them next week, okay? So step 1, quiet your mind. Step 2, being able to get conscious and aware. Step 3, clearing to hear your heart's truth. Step 4, to be able to connect to that deeper part of you, your higher self, your soul, to listen to your heart's truth. And that can be your higher self, your soul, the universe. It could be your guides, angels. Allowing yourself to be open to listening to the wisdom. And 5 is really asking for that support. And then listening to the wisdom that's coming through. And so those are the steps to listen to your heart's truth. And like I said, I'll answer any questions that came in. I'll answer them next week. And join me for the masterclass. It starts at 12 o'clock p.m. today, Eastern. inspiredandempoweredliving.com/masterclass. And next week, I'll answer the questions I didn't get to this week. And we're also going to be talking about preparing yourself for your relationships and reducing relationship stress for the holidays. And I wish you, and definitely, we are live Tuesdays at 11 a.m. Eastern on talk4tv.com, w4wn.com, my YouTube channel, and you can hear the podcast on iHeart Radio, Spotify, Pandora, Apple, Amazon, and many more. And those podcasts also, like the YouTube, 24/7. And I want to wish you all an inspired and empowered day and an inspired and empowered week. Have a great one, everybody. Bye for now.